Hello and welcome to The German Guy Reviews. I am The German Guy.
Three Girls at the Gas Station is a movie that is loosely based on the 1930s film The Three Guys at the Gas Station.
Boo! How dare they to gender swap the entire cast? Feminism ruins everything! I'm a 30-year-old virgin and you know the rest. And oh boy, do we have something to work with today, my friends. Some critic called this movie a lowbrow mix of stupid comedy with girly trends that, thanks to its non-existent effort, intellect and cinematic ingenuity, celebrates a new form of banality. First of all, nice burn, my N-word. And second, don't be too concerned about that. This movie came out in 1997, and since then the bar has been set pretty high to what is extraordinary stupid. Also, not to mention that this is the exact right place for this kind of stuff. Anyways, I haven't seen the original, but I will definitely give it a watch after this is over, since I have a thing for classic movies. And because this is probably one of the few German movies from that era that doesn't have over-fascistic imagery in it. No, that comes 3 years later. Only other thing I can say about it is that it created one of the most famous pieces of music known by literally all Germans, even if they have no idea where it originally came from.
Ein Freund, ein guter Freund, das ist der größte Schatz, den's gibt.
Oh boy. Even before you know who took over, Germans did everything with militaristic seriousness. Even fun! I guess I won't find any black and white movies from that era where they don't march up and down in jackboots anytime soon. We begin the movie with a couple of stick figures doing silly stuff. Did anybody else get disappointed by this kind of stuff when they were young? I mean, you see this intro, get all excited, and then it's just boring adults and boring reality. We start with two younglings at a jewelry store trying out some diamond rings. As all kids do. When we get the first of many bad gags in this film, the two children talk to one another like a couple.
Moment mal. Ich dachte, wir schicken die Rechnung deiner Mutter. Aber die zahlt nicht, garantiert. Du meinst, sie hätte etwas gegen unsere Verlobung? Glaub ich nicht mal. Aber was aber? Wir sind pleite. Der Konzern hat Konkurs gemacht.
Yes, that's what parents go to the movies for. So they can hear even more complaining and or excuses and bitching like they hear from their partner at home. As you may have picked up, the boy named Wiegald, which is also the real name of the comedian and German version of Bill Nye the Science Guy who portrays this character, is now poor, letting his girlfriend reveal her true gold-digging colors. However, it is revealed that this was only a test by the boy to see if the love was real, and then suddenly he has a bunch of spots in his face, which the movie later explains is the result of a woman allergy. That's not how allergies work. That's dumb. You are dumb. Don't be dumb. Many years later, we meet our protagonist again on the couch of a shrink, saying that this experience robbed him of all trust in women, and that since then he is unable to have any meaningful relationship without thinking that his partner is only interested in his money. And also he became the biggest woman hater on the planet, but more on that later. Recently, something great happened, however. When he was dressed as a piss-poor guy on the street, he met a woman that went to dinner with him, and tomorrow is the day they will meet again. In order to calm down a bit before his big date, they do some mental exercises, his dog telling him to imagine his whole body becoming very heavy, which results in the floor collapsing. Get it? He imagined to get heavy, and then he did! Haha! Oh yeah, and if you had any doubt about which decade this is, watch that. While our two gentlemen are having a car party, they don't realize that they switched street lines, which results in an accident. But Wiegald, like a true entitled rich kid, doesn't notice and just goes on. They arrive at their destination, his childhood home, where a very pissed mom waits for him, saying that with his antics he is besmirching the good name of his family. The woman that he tricked leaves, and he is completely oblivious to what is going on. His mother gets so upset by this that it looks like she is having a panic attack, but then cools down again after eating some money. Well, that's one way for the upper class to tame their temper. The other would be this.
Wait a minute. I'm white!
After yet another shitty day, which our hero blames women for, he decides to go to the pond to catch some fish. But only female fish, which he immediately puts in graves. This is one of the things that psychologists will later talk about when they try to decipher when this guy's serial killer career started. Later that night, the three ladies from earlier break into the home of some dude that one of the women had a relationship with. They break a couple of things until an old dude with a gun frightens them away. They start to believe that they are being hunted by the police, which they are not. But just to be sure, they hide in an abandoned gas station, and they decide from now on that they are going to live there. Back to His Royal Majesty, who has to be present at one of his mother's business meetings. After some dumb, unfunny jokes that makes even the actors ashamed, the plot moves forward a bit. It so happens that the gas station the three girls ended up in belongs to Wiegald's mother. Said gas station was about to be demolished right before they showed up because it didn't turn in a profit. Having a grudge against all women, Wiegald has an insidious plan. Rent the place to the woman, see it go bankrupt, and then have the bulldozers rally up.
Aber finden Sie das nicht etwas unfair gegenüber der Frau?
Okay, that's the first time I saw a guy in a suit asking in a business meeting in a movie if that's the right thing to do. That's probably the most ridiculous thing that happened in 1997. And that's the same year Batman and Robin came out. Of course, Wiegald has an excellent reply for that objection.
Unfair? Kennen Sie das andere Wort für unfair? Na? Na? Frau!
Women are sluts! Why don't women like me? Women are sluts! Also, gotta love that systemic sexism here. Anyway, our protagonist is not only a red pill acolyte, he is an inventor as well. His latest project, a device that can change the sound of farts into music and the smell into that of flowers. That's like removing the wheels on a car or sugar-free sugar cubes. Where's the fun in that? Later, Wiegald's mother, after having eaten a 10-mark bill instead of her usual recommended 1,000, drops dead. Which of course, having lost a mother that is on par with Mallory Archer, leaves Wiegald desolated. The upside of that is that she doesn't have to witness how her money is just half as much worth in a couple of years. Suddenly, his aunt shows up, reading his mother's last will, informing our dear young genius that his mother left him, aside from the stuff he already owns, absolutely zilch. Unless he can turn the gas station into a lucrative business within a month. So first order on Wiegald's to-do list is to get the women to leave so he can manage the place alone, but he sends his friend to do it. So are these like all extra therapy hours he gets paid for? Because as a psychiatrist that would mean he is making the big bucks right now. So anyway, his dog walks over and oh my god, those gas prices! Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Wiegald checks up on the shrink shortly later after his car got stolen by two of the women to see that his bubby has fallen in love with the third. When his car shows up again, he of course goes immediately to DEFCON 1 and screams out all his anger, destroying his automobile in the process. He takes a bike but lands on his face, which leads to probably the only funny line in the movie.
Eine rein therapeutische Maßnahme, wenn ihr versteht.
Du kennst den Autisten?
Moments later, we see our little weirdo go hitchhiking, ending up in the car of a woman from the gas station. That once more is making Wiegald vomit out all his prejudices, which doesn't make the lady want to throw him out, but instead making her ask for a date. I love sexist assholes for some reason. Having declined the offer, Wiegald wants to buy some cheap oil for his operation and pay later. But his gas station has earned a reputation already, so no one wants to sell him anything. Needing some seed capital, Wiegald turns to unorthodox methods. Phone sex, that is. And he uses his dog for help. Some inventors figure out how to harness electricity, others make great medicine. This guy is the creator of a whole new kinky sex hotline. And the most ironic part is that people will remember and revere him the most. Back to our three chicks, who sing a little song while doing some desperately needed repairs. After their work is done, they watch a movie and Wiegald shows up, who they mistake for a criminal, and so they give him some. And really, this one little moment encapsulates everything wrong with this film. Then we get a bad song and an even worse beer commercial sketch, and then the story has the decency to continue. Wiegald's aunt tells him that his time window is closing, so he has to come up with something fast. He returns to his enemies, who fill up his lawnmower with highly concentrated alcohol, so the guy in the editing department has to put in this unbelievable Oscar-worthy effect. Look at him go. Damn, the German version of Fast and the Furious is tight. And then he crashes into Jesus, who gives the audience a wink. I don't get it, and I don't even want to. The next day he calls them and says he will get them thrown out somehow, but before he can do that, he gets kidnapped by the Fearsome Four. One of the ladies pretends to be kidnapped too, so that she can fuck the shit out of him. In the morning, the reopening ceremony has started. There's beer, balloons, and a mariachi band. As it turns out, Mexico was a German colony once, so yeah, this is our culture now. Wiegald's aunt is also there and wants to literally blow up the party and finally start with the demolition. Meanwhile, Wiegald has figured out an escape plan, and I have to be careful now that my exploding aneurysm doesn't cause my microphone to get all wet with blood. Wiegald uses the meditation method from the beginning of the movie to make himself so heavy that he breaks through the floor. Yes, people, that happened. This retarded gag was a major plot point. I think I know now why Jesus was winking at us earlier. That was him saying, haha, you died, and now you're in hell. Wiegald, having gotten his lamppost polished, is all cool with the kidnapping and stuff. He points out the obvious, that he created a booming business and that was really all that was asked of him in his mother's testament. Oh, but it's not over yet. Some Asian representatives of a huge corporation want to buy his fart converter. Because of course the Japanese are interested in what is essentially an app for your anus. And then they decide to end the movie by singing a song about poodles. I don't get it and I don't even want to. Haha, you died and now you're in hell. And that was Three Girls at a Gas Station. The fuck did I just watch? Okay, now for some real criticism. The jokes are not funny, the plot is so boring and predictable, the characters are annoying, the acting stilted, the set piece is uninspired, and the whole thing is one humongous cringe fest. Really, the only reason why anybody should ever watch this is to look at the screen in amazement and ask what in the what were they thinking. Now that some time has passed, I had time to watch the original movie, which makes me even more pissed at this, because the original is a charming, funny little movie about love and friendship. This? I don't even know what this is! All I know is that I want to get away from it as fast as possible. The German guy out and go save yourself.